You're listening to Navigating the Truth, and the date is June 11th, 2023, and my guest is Zo'i Graestonne, and we talk about her spiritual journey. Enjoy.
We interrupt to bring you this.
We've hijacked your daily dose of regurgitated news to bring you Navigating the Truth. Brace yourself, listeners, as you're about to enter a world where the narrative is no longer masqueraded as the truth. A world where the conspiracies of yesterday's translate into the truths of today.
Are you listening?
The veils covering the truth are lifting, and understandings once suppressed are finally being revealed. Will you be ready? And now, your host and navigator through these circles of lies, the host of Navigating the Truth, Caroline Bell Tumblety.
Hi, welcome to Navigating the Truth, and it is June the 11th, and it is absolutely been a really awesome day here in Scotland, and I hope everybody is having an awesome day wherever they are. And I want to thank the listeners, and I want to welcome them for choosing to listen in today. And I thank you. We have a donate button on the website on kcrradio.com. If you like what you're hearing, hit that donate button. There are wonderful shows, excellent hosts, and awesome guests. And there is something for everybody here. And I'll tell you, my website is soliam.org. You can drop me an email there. There's links. The links are at the bottom of the page on the website. Have Facebook, Caroline Bell Tumblety. Don't really go there much, but I do check in. And I have a brand new, my YouTube channel is not new. Like, I started it in 2009 in America. And then when I came here, I had to transfer everything. And then it went to 2015. So it looks like the channel only started in 2015, even though it didn't. It started in 2009. And I've been uploading all the past shows, and I finally got the last week's show up. So now I'm up to date, and I think I'm up to 13 subscribers. So that's almost double what I had last week. So if you want to go check that out, again, it's Caroline Bell Tumblety YouTube channel. And I want to thank Tina Marie, their producer, owner, CEO. She does an awesome job, and sometimes I forget to thank her, so I'm doing it right at the beginning, and then I have it covered. And I have an awesome guest, and she is a regular at this point. I think this is the third time, so the third time is the charm, and it is Zo'i Graestonne. Zo'i Graestonne is a creator, a published artist, a manifestor. She is an anomaly and full of boundless energy. Perhaps this is why she attracts so many entities into her existence. Zo'i has worked with all kinds of people in her life growing up in the theatre and around the opera. She is the daughter of an empath and of an artist. On all sides of her family tree, she has creators and musicians, artists, authors, and magic. Coming from a predominantly Celtic bloodline, yeehaw, Zo'i is able to heal, see auras, and communicate with ET and supernatural beings. Originally from Boulder, Colorado, she has lived in Las Vegas, Nevada, Eugene, Oregon, where her spiritual journey has granted her countless experiences that she has been granted the ability and the desire to share. She currently resides in Austin, Texas area. And a big welcome to Zo'i. Welcome, Zo'i.
Hello, thank you. I'm very excited to be back. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you back. So it is. I mean, like, I drop you a wee note here and there, but it's always nice to have a chat.
Yeah, I get really excited when you and Solaris have invited me on, and I got to go on the radio last night with Crypt Rick and Bill Grant, and that was really exciting too. And I was telling them about you, and I get really excited to talk with all of you.
Well, you have that vibe. Like the minute that you start talking, it's like this excitement. I can only talk for myself. I hear like excitement. I hear that in your voice. I do. I hear it.
I need to have a button that just says easily excitable because I am, and people are always like, why do you have so much energy? Like, where does it come from? And I'm like, it just is. I don't know. I just am.
It's just you. Yeah, it's who you are. It was last week you kind of came in on the round table, which was awesome. We were being rowdy. We were being rowdy women. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I heard Solaris, and I was like, "Oh, she's so feisty today. She's so fired up." And I was trying to message her, and I was trying to get the chat to work, and nothing was working. And I was like, "Dang it! I need her to know that I love the spicy. Like, keep going."
Yeah.
So that was fun. That was a really cool experience.
It was a lot of fun. So, Miss Zoe, what's happening? What's happening?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sort of in the midst of moving, getting settled, and figuring some new stuff out. I am no longer in the area where I was with my mom because we were trying to get some stuff together to move around. And I don't know if I had told you, but I had found a lady online that needed a roommate, and she was offering like reduced rent in exchange for just having somebody kind of be around because she has CP and she's wheelchair bound. And so she just needs somebody to like be at home overnight to like make sure that she's, good and well overnight. And I was like, that's me. I got you. Like, I'm a night owl. I don't sleep a whole lot. Like I'm a great roommate at night. Like, yeah.
But also,
and so I've been staying with her the last couple days and getting to know her and her staff and her other roommates and stuff. And so it's been pretty cool. And we're still trying to figure some stuff out, and everything's still kind of up in the air because her house got flooded in last year, and so they're trying to repair it and stuff. So we're currently in an Airbnb, and just kind of figuring some stuff out there. And so I've been working on the little tiny crochet people that I was telling you about, and I don't know if I've said this before. I may have already had this epiphany, but my brain is spaghetti because of all the chaos. So, but I learned that yarn is much like a canvas and that it decides what it wants to become. You don't have a say. It'll let you kind of, take the reins to work on it, but it will tell you what it wants to be. So sometimes I start crocheting and I'm like, I'm going to make this cool thing. And then it just becomes something else. And I'm like, oh, well, that's weird. That's not what I meant to do. All right, well, okay.
Yep. Take the
Guess
reins,
we'll try again next time.
Yep.
So I was trying to make a little tiny bee as like a rough draft for my one of my goddaughters so that I would have more of a better pattern to make a little bee for you. And it's turning into like a little mushroom elf.
Oh,
so
cool.
I guess I'm making little tiny mushroom people. So
that's
cool. Yeah, I'm really excited. So
that.
however that one turns out at the end, that's just gonna go in your box to come see you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
If the yarn was like, oh, this is for Carolyn, we're just gonna be cute and whimsical. So I was like, oh. All right.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But you know what? As you're saying that the yarn has a mind of its own, that explains a lot of experience I've had during knitting.
Right? I bet. Because oh my God, I get so frustrated. I can't tell you how many times I have frogged a project because I was just like, this is not what I was trying to do. What is happening? And it happens with paintings all the time. I'm like, oh, I got this cool idea for a painting. I'm gonna do it. And then I start to put the paint on the canvas. I'm like, why is this not working? And then it's like, by the end of it, I'm like, well, that's not what I was going for, but it's fine, I guess. And I struggle with paint anyway, because I don't know which medium of paint is going to be my best connection. Because I'm not a great painter. There's I feel like I'm just missing something. Yeah. So.
But I can relate. I can relate. The last painting that I did, it's 100 paintings underneath.
Oh, wow.
The final one. Like, that is literally how many times I changed it. It was going in one direction and now the final painting is in my hallway, and every time I walk by it, it's like, oh, I need to change that. And it's like, It's like it's like, and I see it in my head, like as I'm painting, like I don't know if that's like one of your procedures, but and it changes.
Hmm.
It's constantly changing. It's
Yep.
at one point I thought maybe I should be making movies, you know, that'd just be
That's
another thing. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's why I was like, maybe I should just get into animation instead of trying to do like a comic book because
Yeah.
I want my stuff to start moving and have some kind of
Yes.
life to it because trying to put it on paper as a still image is making me insane. I have made no progress with my comic. And especially with Zos and Mira, I really want my story about them to be good. And every time I try to put them on paper, it becomes 60,000 different things. I have no
Hmm.
idea what's happening anymore. I don't even know where to go with that. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop drawing for a couple of days. And I'm gonna do something else. So I started a blog so that I could
Oh,
sort of
cool.
get some of my experiences out. Yeah, because
Hmm.
everybody's like, do a YouTube channel, do a YouTube. And I'm like, I'm not in a position to do YouTube videos right now, just because there's a lot of stuff in the house and I don't know what the volume level is right now. Cause like we're in an Airbnb, the walls are really thin, like it's really small
Hmm.
and I don't have a webcam at the moment. It's like somewhere in my storage locker. So I'm like, well, crap.
Hmm.
So I was like, I'll start a blog. I've been telling myself I was going to do that for like 5 years, and so like I started a blog, and then as I was writing, I was like, this is definitely not an introduction for this kind of blog. So I copied it, pasted it, and put it on a different version of a blog, and so currently I have two. One's going to
Hmm.
be called the Lithium Sleepwalker Diaries, which is going to be more about like my
Wow.
supernatural stuff. And
Hmm.
then the other one's just the Miss B Diaries, where it's just me kind of farting around talking about weird stuff that I do just as a normal, like just like
Day to
everyday dumb
day,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah. And
This sounds really good, though. Yeah, you have again like a million ideas, like just like just coming through the flow.
all of them all at once. They just is like, what are you doing, B? And it's like everything. Like, what's up? All of it? Yes. No, maybe yes.
I think it's good. Like I get a really good vibe that this woman that you're actually taking care of. I think this is a good like I'm not saying like it's like a permanent like for years and years and years, but I think this is a good like what's the word? An opportunity like for this for the women and also for yourself, like a wee bit of settling in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I was
Yeah.
just talking about that with I think it was my friend Damati. I was telling her, I was like, I'm really excited because I can actually like I can just like sit down and focus on whatever I'm doing because like she
Mm-hmm.
writes and
Oh.
she uses a
Mm-hmm.
computer that she controls with her eyes to type, and
Oh
so she
wow.
needs like kind of quiet to like concentrate on like typing and stuff. But she's got like several dissertations and publications and stuff that she's put out, and she's doing a lot on the computer all the time. And I was like, that's actually really cool. So I
Mm-hmm.
told her, I was like, if I ever, because I talk forever, obviously. So I was like, if you ever need me, just like piss off.
Yeah.
Like, she'd be like, hey Zoe, I got stuff to do. I'll be like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, currently I've got my dad helped me acquire a new computer. I mean, I technically paid for it because I paid him
Mm-hmm.
back for it, but I was working with my brother doing some stuff for a little while, and I have so many things I need to do, and everything requires money, and I just don't
I
have
know.
money flowing right now. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
the little bits I get, I do like one thing at a time, and so I finally have a working computer, which is really exciting. Um,
Oh,
and
that's
it's not
great.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's nothing. Excuse me, it's nothing like super crazy. It was just like some inexpensive laptop from Walmart, but it's red, which is amazing because I've always
Hmm.
wanted like a red laptop. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to get covered in stickers eventually, but that's fine. That's
Yeah.
future me problems. And but it's really nice. It's fairly light and stuff, so I mean it's not going to fit in any of my normal purses, unfortunately. So I need to either make myself a new laptop bag or find some kind of a laptop side bag because I was really hoping it would fit in the bag I use for my tablet, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit too big.
Oh,
So
okay.
But I'm back in the Greeley area in northern Colorado, so I'll be close to my goddaughters and my best friend and a couple of my other artistic friends. And there's a bunch of
That's
coffee
good.
shops and stuff nearby that I really like. And so I was like, ooh, I'm going to use that coffee shop vibe to just like go right at the coffee shop, which has for some reason just always been a big pull for me. I used to go to the coffee shops and doodle all the time and write my stories in my notebooks when I didn't have a computer. And I just like to go socialize and just sit there in the fancy shops and drink my bougie coffee and,
Mm-hmm.
and just like eat my $7 croissant and cry
There's
into my coffee
something,
about.
yeah, I don't know, like it could be me, but I don't know. There's something kind of French about that, like sitting in a
Yeah,
coffee shop with a notebook. I don't know.
it's such a
Yeah.
vibe. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just I don't know. I get why so many writers do it for sure because it's also kind of cool like as an artist because if you go to a coffee shop like you're really inspired by the interactions that people
Mm-hmm.
have even if it has
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with what you're writing. It's just sort of the flow of it kind of like feeds more to your creativity and I'm somebody who like I can go just about anywhere and be inspired and like in a flow of writing or drawing or whatever. And I couldn't do that in that other town we were in because it was such a janky, stinky little like butthole town. And like I
Whole
would make
town.
jokes about I was making jokes about like the tumbleweeds. It's not even a drive-through city. It's just like the tumbleweeds don't even want to stay. Like
Mm.
it's
They're
just not a
leaving.
nice area. Yeah.
It reminds me a song like it was when when I was leaving the Catskill Mountains. I was in a similar kind of like I was just in a town. I had a lot of good people in that town, but I couldn't wait to get out. And
Hmm.
I remember packing up the car, and it was me and my daughter, and I had this CD playing. I don't even know if it was a CD. Like it would be 98. It must maybe a cassette. And it was, I don't know if you know the band Live.
Um
They
I
like
probably I might
they were big
recognize
in
their music.
Europe and Australia, and I just loved them. They had an album Throwing Copper, which it was right around that time. But they had a song, Gotta Live in Shittown. And
Mm.
I remember blasting that song as I was leaving the Catskill Mountains and moving down to the Hudson Valley. And I was just singing that song, like, no, gotta live, gotta leave,
Gotta leave, gotta
gotta
get
leave,
out.
gotta get out of here, man. And it was just, yeah, it was cool. It was actually a really good vibe. Like, I remember driving and feeling very free when I was doing that. So yeah, I can see getting away from you were having some weird stuff happening there. Like the
Oh my
storm?
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. All the freaking the hail and the tornado, excuse me, land spout threats. Like,
Yeah.
excuse me. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is some of the craziest weather I've ever seen in Colorado. And Colorado is the most bipolar state I've ever lived in when it comes to weather. Like, when I was a kid, the joke is that, like, by 7 a.m., you're going to be freezing your buns off. And by noon, you'll be sweating your bollocks off. And then by mid-afternoon it's going to be snowing and then in the evening it'll be warm enough and then back to cold and it's just you get all four seasons in one day like every
Hmm.
day of the week. And yeah, and like so when I came back, it was really snowy and just like kind of cold and almost uncharacteristically cold because it just
Mm.
snowed so freaking much when I came back and everything was just more intense than usual. And it was crazy because when I left Texas, we had that huge freeze that was like wild. Nobody expected it. It came out of
Right.
nowhere.
Hmm.
And what was weirder was that like when I moved to Texas in October with my mom in 2020, that big freeze happened and messed everything up and everything was all crazy and people were pointing the fingers at us being like, you did this, you brought this with you. And that happened to me in Oregon when I went up there. It snowed like 6 feet and there was this crazy storm that came through and it was the first time it snowed in Eugene for like 22 years or something. And
Wow.
that was when Bagheera got out, and then he got stuck under the house for 3 days because there was so much snow, and so that was wild. And so, like leaving Texas with the big freeze was crazy, and the person that came to get me out of there was just like, man, every time I have to help you move, there's some insane weather. Like, can you just pick a day where there isn't snow or it's not raining? And I'm like, I didn't know that any of that was, listen, man, like, and then, just the last few weeks, it's been hail out of nowhere. Like, it'll absolutely downpour like crazy. We'll get flood warnings, and then it'll start hailing, and then the hail looks like snow, and you get like 2 to 4 inches of hail buildup, and it's just like, what the hell?
Crazy.
What the hell? And and then it rains some more, and then there's just like a bunch of tornadoes, and then they turn into like land spouts, so they're less damaging and less threatening, which is great because I have a serious fear of tornadoes. Like, tornadoes and volcanoes, I have nightmares about all the time. And it's crazy because the volcano dreams come out of nowhere. And it's like, obviously, this is a dream. It's just absolute nightmare material. But like tornadoes, like just about everywhere I've lived is accessible for a tornado. So like there was a tornado threat in Iowa when I was there in 2021 staying with my uncle. There's, I lived in Tornado Alley out in Texas when we first moved out there. I currently live in actual Tornado Alley. Weld County of Colorado is fairly large, and it's literally like the number one place in the country that's the most dangerous and most consistent for tornadoes. So like Texas has a lot of tornadoes that absolutely destroy things constantly, but like they're fairly infrequent, and they tend to amass like in the fields, and they don't hit the cities as much. And then when they do, it's mostly like topical damage. But like in Weld County, you can't predict these tornadoes. These things will come in and absolutely demolish a whole city, and they have before. The last time I knew there was a huge, crazy tornado right up like against the Front Range, against the mountains where I lived. It took out an entire city. And it like absolutely decimated like a bajillion houses. And I remember some of my teachers at the time were like, I just bought a house. And like the next day it was like, just kidding, it's a pile of rubble now. It's just
that's so sad though.
And it affects the whole state by that point, because then you got a bunch of people who need housing. And tornadoes are definitely not my friend. I have no interest in talking to them. I would like for them to stay as far away from me as possible.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've been in floods, and I've even been in some earthquakes, but they were mild. But in New York, you don't get a lot of earthquakes, so like didn't really know what was happening. So I was working at a nunnery. That's a long story. But I was there. I was there, and I had actually just sat down for a break. And you know what? Before I launch into that, we're coming up on a break. So hang on, listeners, grab your water, your tea, your coffee. We will be right back after this break.
You're listening to Navigating the Truth with Caroline Bell Tumblety, where the truth survives and the lies are exposed.
I just want to assure you that everything is under control. There's been no damage except for some temporary malfunction of the radio.
Come be a part of this awakening by joining us in chat or by calling our hotline at 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230. Worldwide callers, find us on Skype at KCOR Radio.
We're pushing the ultimate frontier here.
Control must be maintained.
More disinformation exposed and the truth discovered. After a word from our sponsors.
1 million miles till midnight. A story of timelines, artificial worlds, simulated races, and the galactic imprint. And the destiny of a blue world called Earth. 1 million miles till midnight, written by Solaris Blue Raven, is a journey through the mind's eye which allows the reader to surf a wave of technological and multidimensional intellect, revealing a bridge between conscious design and the truth. A multidimensional bleed-through awakens the world of artificial intelligence to set sail into the frontiers of a vast multiverse, morphing planets and terraforming ascended worlds beyond the linear programs of a fated race. 1,000,000 miles till midnight will awaken, inspire, prepare, and enlighten one to the many multidimensional states of consciousness and worlds we reside in. With every cell and atom, we are this truth and multiverse. 1,000,000 miles till midnight. Written by Solaris Blue Raven. Available now at Amazon.com. Don't wait. Get your copy today.
1, 2, 3, 4.
To the KCOR Digital Radio Network.
I love the way it sounds.
Love the music. I listen all day.
The future of radio is here and now.
Alien Deceptions, a suspenseful sci-fi romance thriller by Tina Marie, featuring the tantalizing Erica Jones and the mysterious Russell Hamilton. An out-of-this-world book of fiction based on years of document facts and files the government does not want you to know about, at least not yet. Alien Deceptions by Tina Marie. Available now at Amazon.com or get a signed copy at TinaMarieEntertainment.com. Get your copy now.
Change your frequency, change your life with the Lemurian Plug. The Lemurian Plug is easy to control, simple to set up, and wireless. It helps to neutralize toxins and has restorative frequencies for healing. It also helps to protect you and your family from EMFs. The Lemurian Plug is energy efficient and designed using ancient technology for a superior design. One unit can cover up to 1,000 square feet. This life-changing product is reasonably priced. And isn't your family's health worth a small investment? For more information on the miraculous effects of this plug or to purchase the Lemurian Plug, visit thelemurianplug.com. That's thelemurianplug.com. The Lemurian Plug is like nothing you've ever experienced. Order yours today.
If you love them enough to barely sleep, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas' #1 source for talk and new music.
How cool is that?
Going live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Navigating the Truth, the one show that peels back the masks of the elite and exposes the truth we're not being told.
Here to warn
You must not abuse the power you've been given. Eventually, you will lose control of that power and the whole world will suffer.
Come partake in the awakening by calling the show at 702-425-9230. That's 702-425-9230.
Give us a call now.
Those around the world, connect with us on Skype at KCOR Radio. Follow us on Twitter at KCOR Radio or use hashtag KCOR. Come engage in the discussion live in our chat room at www.kcorradio.com.
Our survival depends upon it.
Now, back to examining the narratives and uncovering the truth with your host of Navigating the Truth, Caroline Bell Tumblety. Caroline Bell Tumblety.
Hi, welcome back to Navigating the Truth, and welcome Zoe. And I outran a tornado in Albuquerque.
Oh my goodness.
No with my legs, with my car. And you know what it was? I think did I tell you this? It was when I was moving from New York to Arizona. We had the Penske moving van.
Oh my goodness.
And my car was being towed in the back, but Willow was in her little Honda following the truck with the car being towed. And I ended up driving the Honda and Willow went into the truck with my partner at that time. because she was like, oh my God, the sky's getting so dark, and it's like, and there was like these warnings coming through like the radio, and the place, that was the weirdest thing. See, the place that we had stopped for the night at the hotel, you know, that place was totally flattened the next day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was like, no, the Honda could maybe do 65.
Oh jeez.
And then it would start like shaking.
That's how my mom's car is.
Oh my God. And the truck is in front of me, but I know I'm behind the truck, but my eyes are on the rear view mirror because I can see it. I can see it in the back, and it's all lightning and swirling clouds, and that was, and I was wondering if that was a sign that I was not supposed to move to Arizona. You know, like all this stuff was all going through my head at that time. But yeah, I did outrun a tornado.
Oh my goodness.
The other time was in New York, but it was in the Catskills, and it didn't touch down. What happened was we got the tornado warnings, and the house that I was living in, we had a basement, and it was just me and Willow. And so I would be like sitting at the top of the stairs, like where the door to the basement was, like listening to the what I noticed was the color outside went like a really weird green color.
Yeah, that's how I learned. That's how you know when a tornado is coming. Is if the clouds turn green, then it means get downstairs.
Yeah, we ended up, and we heard it. It didn't touch down, but it sounded like a freight train. Like that was the noise. Yeah, that was
that's
long,
what a lot of people
long time
said.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a train driving over your house. And I've thankfully never had that particular closeness happen, except in a dream, which I can't remember if I had told you about or not. But yeah, most of my friends that have had tornadoes like go right over their house, they're like, yeah, it sounds like a freight train or six, like just driving over the top of your house. And so it's like it's
loud.
absolutely deafening. And I'm like, I no, thank you.
Yeah.
I will pass go. I will not collect $200. I will just leave.
Yeah. Well, I've seen like on TV, like that when it has moved through like a village or like a suburb, like, I mean, people's roofs come tearing off, like, it flattens them.
Obliterates everything.
Yeah. It looks like somebody threw like a bunch of wood like up in the air and just let it drop. Yeah, it's really, it's quite, what would you say? Like, it's scary. It is scary because like you're looking at it's a weather anomaly, right? It's like, we can't switch it off. We can't turn a button and go stop, you know? Like,
right. There's literally nothing you can do except either watch in terror and get scooped up, or, go and find shelter and sort of just wait to see the aftermath. And it's wild to me that tornadoes will literally rip stuff apart, like piece by piece. Like, like all the boards individually will just like separate. And
it's amazing. It really is.
It's crazy. Like, I can't remember. Sorry, I keep yawning. I'm like still half asleep.
You're up early, and I really appreciate you being up early.
I think I went to bed at like 4 a.m. So I was like,
you're like me.
Like, I gotta get up. And I thought the show was at 10, so I was trying to wake up at like 9:30 and like be up and awake, and then like, oh my gosh, my brother got arrested last night, and so that's one of the reasons I was up so late. And he got released this morning, thankfully. But so like my life is absolute chaos. So if it's not something happening with me, it's something happening with my brother, and he has made some stupid young people choices that have got him kind of where he's at now. So he's like got his stuff all cleaned up and he's like getting his life together. But he didn't have his car registered, or something about his plates like not being caught up, and he didn't have insurance, but he got pulled over because his headlights were out. And he said that he told me this morning that one of the headlights was busted, and no matter what he did to try to fix it, it just like would not turn on. And I guess while he was driving at some point, the other headlight turned off, and the cop pulled him over for the headlights. But my brother doesn't have a driving license. He technically only has a permit and an ID because he got in trouble like a few years ago. And so he's been driving without a valid license. He didn't have his registration updated, and then his headlight was out, and the cop was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
So at like 1:30 this morning, I'm on the phone with my mom trying to like figure some stuff out and talk about some things. And I get this call from his friend on Facebook, and he's just like, hey, so your brother's been arrested. And I was like, oh my God, what? And then I tell my mom, and she's like, what? And it's just like, absolutely freaks out for a minute. And she's just like panicking because last time he got arrested, he just straight up went to jail. And so she was like freaking out because she was like, I know it has to do with the registration. Blah! And I was like, oh
yeah.
no. Like, goodness.
She's having a meltdown. Yeah.
She was like, I told him. And so like it was crazy because I made a joke about him and I having just such a whirlwind, a tornado of experiences like 3 days ago. And so it's just really funny that this is a conversation that's come up now. And you know, he called me this morning. He was like, well, my whirlwind day is over. And he's like, but now I got to go back to work. So he's like, and I guess
how does he get to work if he's not got the car? If he does he?
Oh,
how does
someone else had to drive him today?
Yeah.
But
is he your little brother?
Yeah. He's my baby brother. I was telling the guys last night on the show that I'm thoroughly convinced that my brother and I have actually lived our lives as twins for 90% of the many lives that we've lived. And the only reason we didn't end up as twins in this current lifetime is because either he got held back with something else he needed to do, or I was impatient and came sooner. Because I got here first, but he and I are so similar and our lives are so like reflective of each other. Like if something happens to me, the same thing will happen to him with just like one detail different. And so it's funny too, because like the tornadoes. So we were joking, like I had my like meet God experience before he had his experience, but there was only like a 2-week difference between when I had an experience full on with God and when he found God. And then over the years, we've kind of like gone on our own spiritual journeys of everything. And he called me one day and was like, so I've been doing Bible study with Mormons. And I laughed because I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And he's like, yeah, no, like it's kind of cool. And I was like, no, it's just really funny because you'll never guess who I've been doing Bible study with. And he was like, the Jehovah's Witnesses that showed up. And he was like, no, like, why would you do that? And I'm over here like, well, why would you study with the Mormons? Like, and you know, and he was having a good time studying for a little while. And we both had the same thing happen where we had a dream that was absolute turmoil, and then we woke up and then our friendliness with the churches just like dissipated. It just like got Thanosed into nothing, and then we just kind of like have been doing our own thing since then. And I don't remember what his chaotic dream was, but mine was a tornado. There was a Sunday I was going to go to Kingdom Hall with the couple that I met here, and I had a dream that morning about being sucked up into a tornado. And it started where I was in this like Texas vibe. And it was like a barn, but it was a bar, but it was like an underground thing. It was like really weird. There was only like 4 people in it. And like the bar itself was literally just like a counter in the middle of this building with like some stools. And then there was just like magically drinks appeared. It was like super weird. So I was like, okay, this is definitely a dream. Like none of this makes any, dream nonsense. And all of a sudden I was like, someone came running in from outside and said there's a tornado. And then I went to check the door and I was like, yep, it's coming. Everybody hold on, to a pillar or something and hold on for dear life. Cause like there's nowhere else.
You have been listening to Navigating the Truth on KCOR radio.com. If you would like to hear the show in its entirety, please go to kcrradio.com. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.